Hi, I'm Kylie Anne Neal, founder of Kan Culture, and welcome to Kan Talk Kulture. In this podcast, I sit down with some of Australia's most progressive founders and CEOs to explore the heart of their company cultures, what drives them, what they value, and what it's really like to work for the companies they lead. You'll also find occasional episodes packed with practical HR insights to help you build safer, stronger, and more trusted workplaces. So whether you're a new team member getting to know your workplace, curious about creating remarkable company cultures, or just wanting to know more about implementing HR best practice, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Kan Talk Kulture podcast. I'm Kylie Anne Neal, your host and founder of Kan Culture, and I am very excited about the guest that we have with us today. It's a very special guest today. I have Nicola Veltman, who is the CEO, the global CEO of 1,000 Mile Travel. Welcome, Nicola.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. So Nicola lives in Denver, but today she's in our studio in Burleigh on the Gold Coast. So it's an absolute delight to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nick. So 1,000 Mile Travel. So let's just take a bit of a trip to where it started and where it is today. So it's been a bit of a journey.
Yeah, it's been a big journey. And one probably that, we definitely had big goals right from the very beginning, but you never really know what the journey is going to be like along the way, if that makes sense.
Yes.
The journey probably started right at the beginning of our travel careers, 25 plus years ago. But the 1,000 Mile journey started in 2015 when we opened our doors. So that was 11 years ago in February. And our founding vision was to help convert travel careers into businesses and help those businesses grow. So we started off in Melbourne and then quite quickly grew into every state in Australia. Along the way, like any business, where you find the business and then it grows quite quickly. There are always growing pains along the way, but it was exciting and we were providing something different within the industry.
What was that difference?
Yeah, I think that difference was the fact that we'd walked the talk. So Ben, my partner in life and my co-founder and also father of my 3 children, he was an independent contractor. So he had made that move from the corporate life within travel. He started to run his own business and he was doing it within an environment where it worked until it didn't. He needed different support. He needed technology that wasn't there. And he tried to find the solution and the solution didn't exist. So that was when the idea for 1,000 Mile Travel Group came from. So the fact that we'd walked the talk, we knew what it was like to sit in their shoes. It has really been, I guess, the basis for our business. So the founding vision was to be in Australia, the UK, and the US, and then we achieved that. So we are now in all 3 of those regions, and we are. I know this might sound a little bit dramatic, but we're changing lives. We have a lot of our business owners, tell us, they're like, I wish we knew about you earlier. I now spend more time with my family whilst doing the things that I love, which is booking travel and looking after my clients. So that really means the world to us. And every single person that comes on, every journey, every person that says yes to us, it feels the same as the first.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So you started in Melbourne, you went across Australia, you are now global. In 2022, Corporate Travel Management acquired 1,000 Mile Travel.
They did.
Talk us through how that came about and what trajectory from what you were wanting to do with the business and how CTM actually made that come to life for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a pretty bold move. I'm not going to pretend. I think, others that are founders of their business and everything, selling your business, whilst I think, you do set up a business to sell, it doesn't necessarily mean that you do. And that wasn't always the intent. But I guess what happened was we met CTM because of a technology platform that we used and they bought, which is called Tramada. That's used by about 70% of the Australian travel industry population. So when they bought Tramada in 2021, they wanted to know who are the top customers, who are the movers and shakers, I think was the phrase. So Tramada were like, oh, okay, we'll talk to these people and you really need to go down to Melbourne, go talk to Nick and Ben. What they're doing there is different. So it's what started off as a technology conversation really quite quickly grew into something more. They were very interested in us because we provided a solution that CTM at that point didn't have. The work from home culture had grown rapidly at that point. And we had already been doing it for about 6 years. We had the setup, whether that was you niching in corporate travel, leisure travel, group travel. We had the systems and the technology and so forth for that work from home to be very seamless, which others didn't. And we had a very scalable model as well. So it was a very good alignment. We did have others approach us over that time wanting to acquire us, buy us as well. We said no because it wasn't the right fit. But what was different with CTM was the entrepreneurial spirit. It was a founder-led company then, and the values really matched with ours.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that, okay?
Yeah.
Let's focus on because, we are on a Kan Talk Culture podcast and culture is really what we really want to bring to the table. And, I know, Nicola, you have always been a big people first type CEO.
Yeah.
Culture is very important to you. People are very important to you. So can you talk us through from the onset of 1,000 Mile Travel and what was important to you from a company culture perspective and then what that has morphed into over the last three and a half years since you have kind of grown from a certain size to a much bigger company. What has been the culture elements that have been really integral to the fabric of 1,000 Mile Travel?
Yeah, absolutely. Connection is huge. That's something that, is a very big value of 1,000 Miles. It was a value before we identified it as a value. I think we've walked the talk right from the beginning with connection. That's, that happens in multiple facets. It's like, that could be, from our face-to-face conferences that we hold for our network, for our independent contractors. That could be our supplier and partner events that we go to, and that can also be from a virtual standpoint as well. So connection is so important. We're very much about long-lasting relationships. I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint. We want people here for the long haul. And it has to be a match. We don't say yes to everybody. And it's a two-way stream. So connection is extremely important to us. Delivering on what we say as well. I think in terms of like things can change, as we know. Business world and is can be very dynamic, but we plan out our years, like our financial years. We do 3-year plans, but that and we home in on those and we reassess. But it is very important to us to make sure that we are delivering to our people, and then also that we're evolving as well. I said this just now at our conference at the Mandarin in the Gold Coast that, the travel industry has changed in the last 6 years faster than it's changed in the last 40 years. And what we did yesterday isn't necessarily what we should be doing tomorrow. So, at Thousand Mile, I believe like it's our job, it's my job to be looking out there within the industry, what's happening, what new technology is coming in, what are the trends, what can we do to be elevating and helping our network be the best that they can be so they can deliver back to their clients as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So we will talk a little bit more about changes in industry and what some of those changes have been and how you have been really agile. But I do just want to kind of loop back to the purpose of connection, because, from what you've shared with us, you built the business with people working remotely and working from home.
Yes.
And that was a key element before working from home was a thing. And you have that connection at the core of your business in such a unique way, because you have your employees and you have your independent contractors and you have your business owners who fundamentally sit under this umbrella, and you have the culture of connection that is 1,000 Mile Travel. So to be able to hold that at your core and allow that to successfully filter through your culture is something that is quite unique.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely, something that we value highly. I value highly. And I think it's got to go, like you say, it filters through the company, because the people that our head office team that we employ and we bring on, this is, we're employing people that value that too. Our network, our independent contractors, we're saying yes to each other because there's a similar values alignment.
Yes.
And I think, that we're a very human connection industry.
Yes.
So it is very important to us to be making sure that we are having these conversations, finding out what's working, what's not working, celebrating each other, celebrating the achievements, the milestones, the wins. We just celebrated, we've got 4 of our independent contractors that are celebrating their 10-year anniversary with us in Australia.
Wow.
So we recognise them. We have a Hall of Fame award. We do top achiever trips. So that I guess that culture is like, we haven't had all of these things from the beginning, but these things evolve over time, and it's really seeded into the fabric of who we are.
That's fantastic. I often talk about culture, about what are your rhythms and what are your rituals, and you guys solved that from building your business from the onset, and be it 2015 before companies would talk about that.
Yeah.
But you have your rhythms and rituals down packed, and that is the core. Whereas a lot of organizations who don't have the uniqueness that you do, but they, kind of look at workplace first of employees, like can they work from home or can they not? Is it hybrid? Is it not? And all of those, they spend their time in those conversations rather than what are our rhythms, what are our rituals, and how do they connect people? And that is at the forefront for 1,000 Mile Travel, which really is quite extraordinary from a culture perspective.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a very strong, firm believer in consistency.
Yes.
As well. If you're going to say something, do it.
Yep.
I'm quite big on that, like in work and outside of work and everything as well. But and I think because our team, they trust us.
Yes.
and trust is huge.
Yes.
They know that we've got their backs.
Yes.
They know that we care. They know that we are the industry experts.
Yes.
And that we are going to, we go to these, global events because we are finding out what is also happening in the industry and staying ahead of the game and everything. So whilst, they're there running their businesses and things like that, we're here with the intel and the information to provide them with what they need to be the best they can be.
Yeah, fantastic. And having your finger on the pulse for that globally, not just locally, is really fantastic. Really fantastic, because I'm sure there are certain nuances if you look at your Australian business and your UK business and your US business, to be able to have that full global landscape on something like travel, because it obviously is interconnected in every way, but the way that a business is run and the challenges and the unique challenges that an Australian business would have in comparison to what they do in the UK, I'm sure there's like little nuances and finite detail that would be different.
There definitely is, and that's why it as we've grown, it was really important to have local knowledge and to have local leadership. So we have, I have general managers in every region that run those businesses and they report up to me, but they're running those businesses and they've got teams in those regions as well. So whilst we do globalize a lot, we don't want to recreate the wheel every time. We do look and see how does that need to be regionalized within it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we could do a whole podcast on that, I would think. Thank you. Let's now talk about the evolving piece of it. So, you mentioned that evolving is also, one of the values and one of the things that you keep front of mind from a culture perspective at 1,000 Mile Travel. So if you look at the way that the travel industry has changed in the last 5 or 6 years, the pace of change, and travel obviously isn't the only industry that's had really rapid change, but it is one that I think has had probably more challenge than a lot of other industries have had. What are you doing to keep in front of the progressiveness and the innovation of an industry that had been quite stagnant for such a long period of time? Like, what are you actually focusing your efforts on there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess in terms of what's happening out there in the industry, we are, we go to our experts. And there are, the experts in the industry are our partners, our suppliers. So whether that is, the GDS, whether that is, Virtuoso, one of our luxury consortium partners, we're constantly like researching and talking to people to go, what's out there in the industry, what's happening. A big focus for us has been around technology, automation, and AI. We're about, like I said earlier, we are a human connection industry, and for us, it's about how do we enhance our independent contractors' businesses. So it's about how do we enhance, not replace. So that's what these tools are here to do. We want to be able to create more productivity and efficiency, give them that time back in their day, whether that means they can take on more clients and more business, or whether that means that they can spend more time with the people that they love, which is their friends and family. So that's what we're looking at. I guess traditionally, we've played in a space where we are in a point and click environment when it comes to tools. We're now looking at tools that are more command-based driven.
Right.
Yeah. So, we're constantly in research and review. We do have different parts of our business and everything. But, it's also about, traditionally, if you were to look at our industry, I don't know, even like 15 years ago, people were phoning their suppliers to make bookings.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, that can still happen. But, you know, what are more efficient ways to be doing this? Where do you go to make those bookings? Where, you know, we want you to have one place, you know, where you're able to do that. So, we're always in research, we're always in review, but a lot of the time we're also building on what we already have.
Yes.
And I always say Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, it might start with the Colosseum and then the Trevi and everything, but, you know, it's about building on top and sort of chunking through that process. So we might launch something next month, but then within 12 months' time, you know, it could be this because we've built upon it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear more about particularly the automation and AI. You know, I think sometimes everyone's talking about AI and, you know, how they're using it and like everyone's thinking about it. I think not a lot of people are at the place where, I mean, we don't know what the potential of AI is at the moment. So we are still in that playing around mode. I say that very much from an Australian landscape, but I do know there's a lot more progression in how businesses are using AI, particularly in the US. But if we pull apart automation and AI, what is the focus areas? You spoke about talking about it from a command perspective rather than just a purely automation perspective. Can you go a little deeper into that? You know, not sharing anything that you haven't quite launched yet.
Yeah.
But can you just talk us through like the actual practical conversations that you're having with your team about where it's going to go for your business in the next, even say, let's hone it into like the next 6 months?
What we have, and again, the travel industry, like, you know, there's been evolvements and everything, you know, in terms of we have how we're booking air now. So it's always been through the GDS, but now we have something called NDC, which is the way that the airlines are distributing their content to us. So that has changed. But even more than that, we're looking at systems where instead of having to use cryptic commands or doing point and click, we're looking at systems that will be more driven by asking questions or telling the system something. So like we do, I guess, with ChatGPT or AI, but looking at that more for our industry as well. Again, I think, you know, where we're going to be at in 5 years' time with our industry is going to be a very different place to where we're at now. So, you know, we also have the way that it works right now within our industry is that the client is reaching out to us saying, I need to book this, I need to do this. But what if we were reaching out to them?
Wow.
Yeah. So kind of like reversing it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
wow.
I think, you know, so these are all things that we need to think about, we need to consider, you know, and I think, you know, in terms of how does that elevate or how does that help, you know, like our independent contractors, our business owners, it means, again, I'm very focused on them having that human connection and doing that high value for the client versus that rinse repeat. Or, you know, even the research takes a long time. And, you know, that's the clients are coming to us for this information. But what if that research didn't take as long, you know, so, or what if the booking process was shortened? You know, that window went from 5 minutes to 30 seconds. What does that look like? You know, multiplied over X number of, you know, days, weeks, and so forth. So for me, it's about providing more productivity and efficiency back to our people so they can do more of what they love doing and what they're, you know, the best at doing. But also while knowing that there's still got to be validation. There still needs the human expertise.
Yeah.
To validate the information that's being provided.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. And when you talk about expertise, because I guess that's the risk of AI across any business, and there's always talk of, they won't be needed because AI will take over. They won't be needed because their jobs will be automated. When you think about the travel industry, there obviously is a very high level of skill and expertise. How would you articulate what that expertise is? Say AI and automations could automate everything that it possibly could. When it comes down and you rip apart those day-to-day, like lower level, shall we say, once AI and automation take it all out, what is the essence of expertise within the travel industry?
I think it is knowing, I guess it's like knowing what the connection times are through an airport, how long you've got to get that visa, what visas are required, you know what I mean? Like triple checking, double checking. Also, what restaurants would you recommend to go to? The transfer time, sometimes it's that real intimate knowledge of I've done it. I've been there. My client's done it. My client's been there. But AI won't have that. AI won't have walked the talk. Yes, you can build them up and so forth, but having that human, that has been there and has done it. And, for a lot of our business owners, they have been, they've been in the industry a long time. A lot of them on average, it's like 20 years. So there isn't much they haven't been through. There isn't much they haven't gone through. And that amount of knowledge over that period of time is invaluable.
Absolutely. I was just thinking as you were saying, even going on a holiday or even on a work trip and cutting out that these are 2 or 3 restaurants within the vicinity of the hotel.
Exactly.
This is why we're booking this hotel for you, because it meets your brief. That knowing what you're looking forward to. Like I'm saying this as a layperson of what the benefit of when you're thinking about going on a holiday, booking the flights and booking the hotel is only one very minimal part of what the experience of travel actually is.
Exactly.
And it is that incremental, those little incremental between times thing that gives you more and more to look forward to if you're engaging in a travel expert.
Yeah. And I think it's about people want to speak to people. That's not going to go away, So it's about, our business owners are there right from the beginning to the end. And after that too. So it's about, the welcome home. Yes. How was your trip?
Yes.
What did you love best about it? What, is there anything that you would give feedback on that we could do differently? So the human is never going away.
Yes.
It's about enhancing.
Yes.
Not replacing.
Yes. And, speaking of the humans within your business, one thing that really that I get really curious from is the pace of work these days is skyrocketing.
Yeah.
We do have AI that can help us with certain tasks. We're building out automations all over the shop. But it is that, mental health and the capacity to build resilience and grit when we're being asked to do more and more and more and more. The pressures on business owners is just higher. As an organisation, what do you value most to really bring that human first element out and to make sure that you are cognizant of what pace of work looks like and helping the contractors or the experts maintain that?
Yes. Yeah, and it's a good point. I think, every business owner that we have is unique. And, for us, it's really important to find out what are their goals, professional and personal, because, our belief is that your career or your business should be supporting your home life. So you work to live, you don't live to work. So finding out what are their goals, what do they want to achieve, celebrating when they get there. But everyone's different. So and that changes over time as well.
Yeah.
So if they are sometimes, they do hit a fork in the road and they don't know what way to go. We're here for that. Sometimes it's we've had so many different scenarios where, people, our business owners may be ready to upstaff, or they may want to be connected with another business owner that they can join forces with. So that there are a lot of different scenarios. So I guess we also act as, business mentors and coaches, to listen to them, to hear where the pain points are, because they don't always know what the solutions are, and that's okay.
Yes.
We're here to help facilitate. We're not here to do, but we are here to help provide the ideas and to pull out, that thought-provoking, where are you at?
Yes.
And what do you think? And where should we go? And create a pathway together.
Yeah, amazing. Because sometimes it is they do have the answers. They just need to talk it out, and they just need to construct it in a way that actually makes sense and take that sense of overwhelm, put it into words, and share that. So
So that's exactly, and I think, there's all business owners can do this. There's a balance between working in your business and working on your business.
Yes.
And I always think there needs to be at least 20% of your time on your business. And sometimes it's easier said than done, but if you carve out the time, we're here to help you with that. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So you've got your process for onboarding for new starters.
Yes.
So can you share with us what that experience is like as people onboard into 1,000 Mile Travel? But first of all, tell me how many travel experts you have within the 1,000 Mile Travel family at the moment.
Yeah, so we've got 300 businesses that are within the 1,000 Mile network globally. Within those businesses, they may have subcontractors or employees within those businesses. So altogether, if you were to count everyone, we're looking at about 500.
Fantastic.
Approximately. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the onboarding experience is really important.
It's crucial.
Because, you are giving them all the information, and I mean that both emotive information and practical, tactical information of what 1,000 Mile Travel is all about within those first few days or first few weeks.
Yeah.
So tell us about the program that you've got for onboarding.
Yeah, so our program is 1,000 Mile Takeoff. So it's taking off your business. That might be that you are converting your career into a travel business, or it might be that you already have a business, but you're coming to us because there's a gap and you need our help. But either way, you're taking off with us. And, and we say every journey starts with a single step. So it's taking that first step, but, there are so many more ahead of you with us. So with that journey, we find out about each and every business owner before they come to us. So it's all part of the journey planner. Depending on how they've come through. So they may have come through maybe a marketing channel via our website. From there, they already start to get a feel for us. That might be that they're getting a video of me, a video of their regional GM, whether it's UK, Australia or North America. They get an FAQ, and then they go into a discovery call with one of our team, one of our local team. So they would then have that discovery call. And then from there, there might be a few more steps, but it's we then decide together, is this the right fit? We help them with that decision making as well. It's very important for us that they dot their I's and cross their T's. We don't want anyone coming to us on a whim. We want to make sure that this is, because it takes a lot for all of us. It takes a lot for, the business owner coming in, and it takes a lot for us, like time and money and so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that we're setting everyone up for success. So once that decision's been made, we provide the resources that they need in order to set up their business successfully. From there, we then, because we understand who they are, what makes them up, and their goals. So what do they want to achieve? Where are they at, and where are the gaps? So whilst we've got a baseline, induction for the 1,000-mile takeoff induction, we work out what that particular business owner needs in order to set them up for success. So once they go through that induction, they are ready to take off, which means they are ready to make those bookings as soon as they finish.
Amazing. And and I'm sure that there was a lot of work put in that process, and it sounds like you really do tailor it and kind of grab out what each individual person or business requires from that onboarding, which is, really, even that in itself is quite an innovative way to think about it, because normally it is like, okay, these are our 6 modules, and you'll sit there and you'll read those. Some of it's relevant, some of it's not. But for you guys to actually tailor that process is really fantastic. So let's say you've got a new starter. They've gone through the process. They've signed on. What would your key message be to them?
Yeah. So my key message for any new starter that comes into our business is back yourself. Starting your own business, yes, it can be a risk, but it should be, and it needs to be, a calculated risk. We give you the steps and the things to review before you come in. But once you've said yes to yourself and yes to us, and we've said yes to you, we're a partnership. So we're here for you the whole way on the journey. Be kind to yourself in the process. Building a business should be a marathon, not a sprint. So this is all about setting you up for long-term success.
Nicola,
thank you.
I have one final question for you that I ask all of my guests.
Yes.
If 1,000-mile travel were a song, what would it be and why?
I'm a really big fan of Queen and Freddie Mercury. Our business owners, a lot of them are in pain when they come to us, and they don't necessarily know the pathway, or they don't know the way, but they know that they can't stay where they're at. And it's it's our job to help them find the path if they don't know it yet. So, and we do that quite a lot. So I would say that our song is I Want to Break Free. And I'm not a great karaoke singer, so that's about as much as we're getting.
Thank you so much, Nicola.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate the time in your busy schedule to come in here to chat with us this morning. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening. I'm Kylie Neal, founder of Kan Talk Culture and Kan Culture. So thank you. It's been amazing to hear from Nicola and what the travel industry is doing, and more importantly, what Nicola is doing with 1,000-mile travel. Wish you all the best, Nicola, and safe travels back to Denver.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me on Kan Talk Culture. I'm Kylie Anne Neal. I hope today's episode gave you a clearer view into the values driving your workplace, or sparked new ideas about building a remarkable company culture. If you're a founder or CEO interested in sharing your culture story, or if you're looking to build a safer, stronger, and more trusted workplace, let's connect. Visit kanculture.com. That's KANKULTURE.com to learn more. Please hit that subscribe button to hear more real conversations with founders and CEOs and hands-on episodes full of people-first culture advice. I look forward to connecting with you on our next episode.